Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a great week. Hope that you've gotten your day off to an exciting start. But remember what I always tell you, regardless to where you are right now, regardless to what it is that you are doing or feel you aren't doing or you aren't getting done, no matter how far behind you seem, if you're still breathing, you are still in the fight. And I want to reiterate that for you. Don't you dare quit. Don't you dare give up. Don't you dare turn around. This is a journey. This is a journey that is rewarded through relentless pursuit, through persistence, through a commitment to finish what it is that you start. Today is Thursday, so that means it's Thankful Thursday. So we're going to talk about the power of thankfulness and gratitude yet once again. Before I do, I want to point you to the comment box, description box, depending on what platform you're watching this on. I want to point you there because right now, until we get the first 100 people, we are offering a personalized growth plan. It's through our Ascension component of the Visionetics Institute, and this is a personalized growth plan, meaning that it's designed specifically for you. And we're offering it at a promo rate of $97. This is a highly personalized 6-month step-by-step plan that offers you a free personality assessment, free DISC assessment, free goal assessment, support, access to a lifetime access to the Epic Realm community of high achievers, a group of people that I've worked with in the past who are former clients who are now doing their things in many different industries. You're going to be a part of that. The weekly Q&A sessions that allow you to table questions and aspirations and ideas, all of this stuff for $97. But here's the thing. We're only taking the first 100 people, and then we're suspending the promo until we meet fulfillment and delivery. And then we'll open it back up whenever that is. But I want you to sit up. If you feel stuck, if you feel like there's something out there that you know you should be getting, if you feel like you've tried and you've spent your wheels, if you know you tend to procrastinate, if you know that you have an issue with limiting beliefs that won't allow you to reach out beyond your comfort zone, any of these things are a reason to take advantage of this course. Again, $97 for a 6-month plan drawn specifically to your aspirations, your desires, your goal, your dream, based on your strengths, based on your personality, based on where you are starting from. Nobody's going to have your plan but you. This is something that I'm so excited about. It's in the description box. Click the link. Don't you dare miss out on this opportunity. Again, we're only accepting the first 100 people, and then we're going to suspend the offer until we fulfill. On that note, look, I'm moving right off into this. It's Thankful Thursday. To me, when people ask me, why do I think it's so hard for people to express gratitude or to live in a state of gratitude or to be thankful, it is because of what we choose to focus on. I break it down into 2 primary elements that determine whether you are going to have a life of gratitude or a life of disappointment, frustration, and complaining. Because everybody's going to live a life where there's going to be ups and downs, challenges, and the life is going to ultimately reflect how they view these challenges and difficulties and how they perceive their life. Those who perceive it with gratitude and thankfulness are going to fare better. It's scientifically proven. Those who tend to look for things to be thankful and grateful for also live. And there are so many different reasons why. But here's the thing. Appreciation versus expectation. If your life is based on other people and even yourself meeting expectations and everything is gauged off of whether those expectations are met, You're going to have a lot of times where you're frustrated, a lot of times where you're disappointed, a lot of times where you're angry, a lot of times where you're pointing the finger of blame and dismissing accountability, because you are absolutely in control of your life, no matter what someone else does. And people are going to do things that upset you. People are going to do things that disappoint you. People are going to do things that you take personally. That's life. What you are responsible for is actually sitting there and saying, what can I do to ensure that I'm getting the most out of life? Like I've told you so many times before, and it's important that you understand this. This isn't a cliche. This is a fact. This is a truth, that gratitude is the gateway to abundance. Without having the ability to establish gratitude, you're going to have a hard time experiencing an abundant life. It just simply is. Here's what happens when you are not able to practice appreciation. You close the gates to providence. In other words, again, you have to see gratitude as a gateway. And if that gateway is open, abundance flows. And there are a bunch of different reasons why. Number one is we emit energy, and energy is resonant. This entire universe is about energy. This entire spiritual realm is energy. Your life force is energy. God is energy. The spirit name is energy. So in essence, everything that you do, your thoughts emit energy. Your emotions emit energy. You're constantly emitting energy. Here's the thing. Energy is resonant. What does that mean? Energy tends to attract like energy. That's why you see people who complain around people who complain, people who gossip around people who gossip. You also see people who are successful and enjoying life around people who are successful and enjoying life. It's not an accident. There's no conspiracy. It's simply you drawing to yourself where you're currently at. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody kind of drifts down, up and down every now and then, but where are you consistently operating at? Is going to tell you. Well, that's a way to measure that energy. Scientifically measure the energy that is being emitted emotionally through your thoughts, through everything. And it's on a Hertz scale. When you measure energy on a Hertz scale, you go anywhere from 0 to 800. Here's the thing. The lower you go on the Hertz scale, the lower the vibration. You hear people talking about vibration all the time, but they talk about it in such an ambiguous term. It just sounds like some hippie term or some pseudo spiritual idea, but it's true. It's an actual scientific reality that you're vibrating. You're creating a vibrational energy with every thought, with every idea, with every focus and situation and perception of life. You're creating this level of energy. So what happens? 500 hertz to me is the baseline. Why? Because that's where gratitude takes place. When you sit up and you find a person who is focused on a reason to be grateful, a reason to be thankful, they are operating in right around 500 hertz. Well, then you take love, the experience of love, the giving of love. I'm not talking about infatuation. I'm talking about the benevolence of love, where people are giving of themselves to empower, inspire, to cover other people. There's a level of benevolence that is reflective in love. And when you see that, you start to get close to 600 to 625 to 650 hertz. Okay, you're really up there now. Now you can see the God mind, the ability to access the mind of God, where all the solutions to every problem lies. There's no such thing as a problem without a solution, because there's nothing that stumps the mind of God. No matter how you view God, God is all knowing. No matter what religion you touch, no matter what spiritual idea, there's this supreme idea of divinity that knows. And in that mind of God is the answer to every problem, but you got to be able to access it. And here's one of the biggest problems when people ask me, well, Doc, why do you think I'm struggling in my prayer life? Or when I'm asked a more general question by other ministers, pastors, theologians, why is it that so many people are failing in prayer? It's because most people are praying from desperation. Desperation normally comes from fear. That's 250 hertz. It comes from a place of envy and jealousy. I'm upset because so-and-so has something. Why can't I have it? God, give it to me. And they don't realize they're doing it, but they're operating from a mindset that has them emitting an energy, a spiritual energy of about 200 to 250 hertz. The mind of God, where God exists, the God that can bring the answer, the God that can provide the solution, 750. Well, how do you get to 750 hertz? How do you get to 750 hertz? And people, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed. Well, it's not the frequency of the prayer, it's the effectiveness of the prayer. I do prayer and meditation every morning, but it's the effectiveness of the prayer. Being emotionally charged while you're praying may actually be working against you. Let me explain to you why. God is present in his purest state at 750 hertz or higher. So if I'm operating out of desperation, fear, anger, frustration, I'm praying because I'm ticked off about what they're doing to me at work. I'm praying because I'm afraid that I'm about to miss my car note or my house note. I'm praying, then I'm operating out of fear. 250 hertz. The answer is at 750 hertz. I can't hear it because I'm totally in a carnal state of trying to see things in life through physical vision instead of spiritual vision. And because I cannot make that connection, I can pray all day and I'm not going to get an answer. And that's where abundance happens. That's where liberation happens. That's where it all happens. It happens at above 500. 500 is gratitude. You should start every day there. I tell everybody all the time, you've heard me say it, I don't know how many times. When I wake up in the morning, first thing out of my mouth before I roll either way on the bed, first thing out of my mouth is thank you. Why? Because it immediately triggers my brain and my subconscious to find reasons to be thankful. I just told my brain what I want to focus on. I don't have to think of a reason to be thankful. Number one, I woke up, but I don't have to think of a reason. All I got to do is say thank you. My brain will automatically, it's the most powerful force on this planet. It will automatically go find why. Or I could wake up and say, this is going to be a screwed up day. Guess what happens? Guess what happens? My brain's going to go out and find every reason why this day sucks. And guess what? Every day, there's something to be upset about, something to be disturbed and anxious about, something to be thankful about, something to be happy about. What are you going to focus on? What you focus on is what you feel. What you feel is going to impact the level of energy you emit. The level of energy you emit is going to put you either closer to the mind of God, where all the answers and the solutions exist, or closer to a state of carnality where all you see is what's in front of you. And all that does is stir more fear, stir more anxiety, stir more worry. And what do you have? This cycle of ineffectiveness that is tied to your inability to appreciate. You're trying to live life on the vast majority of marriages. While we say it's money, it's expectation. It's expectation about money. It's expectation about performance. It's expectation about engagement. And what happens? You place all these expectations and you don't focus on appreciation. So you miss all the opportunities to see the wonderful things that you have in front of you in your relationship. And you only focus on what's wrong with it. And eventually you create a mindset to where the thing that should be housing and producing your greatest level of sanctity has become your greatest source of misery. And you created it. You created it because you chose to focus on expectations versus appreciation. Am I saying that there shouldn't be expectations? Absolutely not. God meets you at the level of your expectations, but your expectations are going to be formed by experiences. If all of your experiences are negative, your expectations are going to be something negative is going to happen. Guess what? God's going to meet you at the level of that expectation. So how do you change the expectation? You start focusing on appreciation. So I'm going to focus on appreciation. And then I'm going to be thankful. I'm going to set a standard. I'm going to set an expectation. But whether I meet the expectation or not that day or that week or that month or even that year, I'm not going to become frenetic and unglued because it didn't happen. I'm going to be thankful for all the things that came out of my efforts. Because here's the thing. If I'm pressing towards the mark, Paul says, I press towards the mark for the prize of the higher calling. If I'm pressing towards the mark to be a better person, I'm pressing towards the mark to be more effective. I'm pressing towards the mark to be better at what I do in any particular situation so that I can give the best of service. Guess what's happening? I'm growing. I may not hit that expectation, but I'm growing. Something to be thankful for. I'm going to appreciate the moments of growth in my life, even when I don't hit the mark. I'm going to be thankful because I grew. I'm going to be thankful because I've gained ground. I'm going to be thankful because I'm not the person I was yesterday. Something my great-grandfather used to say all the time when everybody would sit up and ask me, hey, Deke, how's it going? He says, hey, I'm feeling great. I'm not the man that I should be, but I thank God I'm not the man I used to be. He used to always say that. And I'm like, the way he said, as long as I'm not the man I used to be, I've grown. I'm not only not the man I used to be in 1940, I'm not the man I used to be last year, son. And so that means I'm growing. And when I say that I'm not the man I should be, that's reminding me that I haven't arrived, that there's still something to strive for, there's still something to look forward to, there's still some ground to gain. So what am I getting at? When I don't focus on appreciation, when I can't find my mind to be thankful about the life that I have lived, the life that I have been given, the life that I still have in front of me, and I focus on expectation, there are going to be times those expectations are met. And then I start to expect bad things. So even when I'm meeting my expectations, I'm not getting desired results. I'm getting what I expect. And people don't realize that. You can have a desire. That doesn't mean that's what you actually expect. Your desire is what you would really want to happen. What you expect is what your beliefs and your experiences tell you. The only way you shift those beliefs and experiences is by changing your perception of how you're going to view things. What am I going to focus on? Break it down. Two simple things. I'm either going to focus on what I appreciate, or I'm going to focus on expectations. When I focus on expectations, I am only happy when I meet them or when other people meet them. And that's the problem. A great deal of our expectations is hanging on the shoulders of someone else's behavior, someone else's performance, someone else's delivery. And when they don't come through, we're miserable. When they don't come through, we're angry. When they don't come through, we're disappointed and frustrated. When they don't come through, we are lost because we've hung everything on them doing for us what we should be doing for ourselves. In through the vein of appreciation, gratitude, and gratefulness, we would be rising and achieving things based off of an expectation that my appreciation produces my abundance. I can't get to a place where I have the access to the answer without first being grateful for what I have. You take the story of the servants and the talents, or the assets, or the gifts, and one was given 10, one was given 5, one was given 1. And depended upon what they did with what they had, they was the one with 10 didn't get more because he had 10. He got more because he appreciated the opportunity and did something with the 10 he had. Same thing with the 5. The 1 decided, hey, it's not a whole lot, so I'm just gonna go put it over here because last thing I want is to lose this little. And what happened was it wasn't appreciated, so it wasn't managed correctly. Get what I'm saying? When I appreciate something, I manage it correctly. I handle it correctly. See, I can get a bunch of things that come across my desk, but if I don't appreciate it, if it comes as a form of, if it comes as a response to an expectation, then I expected it and I don't appreciate it. I tend to take it for granted. That happens a lot in relationships. Matter of fact, when I'm studying behavior on social media, I see this idea all the time. Here's how it shows up in relationships. There are certain things you should expect from your partner. The problem is when it comes and you view it through the lens of expectation, you don't appreciate it because it's what they were supposed to do. But the problem is when you don't appreciate it, you take it for granted. And when you take it for granted, you mishandle it. When you mishandle it, you hurt them. And when you hurt them, they withdraw. And over time, you destroy something that could have been powerful because you viewed it through the wrong lens. Let me say it again. If I take the very same thing that they're doing and say, man, although they're doing things that should be expected, I appreciate it. I appreciate that they see value in me enough that I'm the person that they are doing this with, that I'm the person they're doing this for, that I see this. It's so important that you get this, because when you don't appreciate what should be expected, you tend to mishandle it. And so it's not that you shouldn't expect things, it's that you can't view life through your expectations and maintain gratitude, maintain a level of sanctity, joy, and happiness. Why? People are human. And because of humanity, their humanity, I'll use me for example. I'm human, and because of my humanity, there are some things I'm simply deficient in. There are some things that I'm just not going to be good at. And even on the things I'm great at, I'm not perfect at. So there are going to be times where I slip up, times where things fall through the crack, times where I miss something, times where I forget something, all of these things. And if I'm only judged on my delivery, there are going to be all these other times that you did all right, but you did all right. But if you look at it from the lens of this person is investing energy, time in me. That might be a spouse, that might be a child, that might be a business partner, whatever. You're saying this person is investing their energy and time and effort in trying to deliver something to me. Yes, I see their fallibility. Yes, I see their imperfections, but I must also view that and assess those imperfections through my own acknowledgement of mine. When I tend to look at people and see that they're not where they're supposed to be, I remind myself before I ever think on it that I'm not where I should be, that I have work to do, that I have growing to do, that there are some things inside of me that still need work. And so I don't go judgmental. I don't go looking at them and looking down on them. I say, what can I do to be an instrument in your growth? Not coming at you. Why are you doing this? It's easy to judge somebody sitting back, but without an understanding of them being in their journey, you tend to judge harshly. I'm not saying that you don't need to speak the truth. I'm saying that when you speak the truth, there should be an intent to inspire growth, not to tear down, not to break down, not to mishandle. Because how you intend something to be is going to also reflect back on you. It's coming back. The same truth can be spoken with two different intentions and produce two different results, not just in the life of the person that it's being spoke to, but in the life of the speaker. So what am I getting across? I'm trying to get you to understand that you are in absolute control of the overall capacity of your overall capacity to experience abundance and joy and happiness and fulfillment in life, in finances, in every area of your life, based on how you perceive your current reality. If you're looking to have expectations be the core of what you judge, you're going to find yourself disappointed a lot. But if you sit up and you make appreciation your focus, you're going to find yourself in constant state of thankfulness, gratitude. You're going to be in the state of God, in God consciousness, where you are able to tap into the answers that are there for your enigmatic issues that frustrate you on a carnal level. You got to elevate. The problem is you're trying to solve spiritual issues with a carnal mindset, and you're being frustrated by it, and it's creating a cynical mindset. And that cynicism is actually working against you because it's creating a greater level of negative energy that's driving you further down, and you pushing you further away from the answer, pushing you further away from the very emotions that can create the elevation you need. And you don't understand why it's going. You're anchoring yourself in the negative emotions of you're anchoring yourself in the negative emotions of unmet expectations, and it's destroying your life. The one thing that I have committed myself to, and I challenge you to do the same thing, find a reason to appreciate the people in your world. Appreciate the opportunities that are before you. They're not perfect. They aren't exactly how you perceive them to be. The things that are going to come to you will very, very rarely look like they looked when you dreamt them up. But you've got to have such a connection to God consciousness that you recognize the opportunity. And that comes through appreciation, because when it lands and you look at it through the lens of appreciation, you see the value in it. When you look at it through the lens of expectation, you only see what it delivers. You lose the sight of the value. So it's so important to keep your mind focused on appreciation. Why? Because in there lies the value, in there lies the capacity for growth, the capacity for elevation, the ability to tap into the things that are going to automatically facilitate happiness. You can have, I am a personal witness that you can have all the material things you want in life. But if you don't have the capacity to appreciate, if you don't have the capacity to live in the truth of who you are, you will find yourself with a bunch of things and still miserable. It's not the things that make you happy. It's the capacity to appreciate what you have. And here's the other thing. You could be so fixated on the expectations that even when the expectations are being met, say, for instance, with me, it's material things. I'm getting all the things I want at a certain point in my life. I'm in the sweet spot. Can't go wrong. Money's flowing. I got all the things that say I'm successful on the outside. Here's the problem. Because I'm got the expectation, but there's still the absence of the ability to be appreciative of it. Why? I can't appreciate it because it was built on expectation. So what do I spend most of my time doing? Worrying about how I'm going to keep it. Worrying about what happens if I lose it. But see, when I put my appreciation on the things that can't be taken, now I can enjoy the things that can. You get what I'm saying? So when I start to appreciate the life that I've been given, the gifts that I have to help people and to touch lives. Now, if I lose the car, I lose the house, if I lose this, and that, then at that particular point, I'll get it back. I'll start over. But if I realize you can't take my heart from me, you can't take my gift from me, you can't rob me of my purpose. There's no situation and circumstance in this life that's going to take me away from my purpose or rob me of my gift. That's planted, that's given, it's mine. And if that's where my appreciation is anchored, I'm never anxious about what I'm going to lose on the external side. Take the money, I'll make it back. Take the house, I'll buy another one. But what you can't take is my joy. Why? Because it's not connected to things. It's connected to my identity. It's connected to my purpose, which allows me to be in a constant state of appreciation, even when I'm going through difficult moments. Why? Because my purpose is still intact. I still belong. I still have a place. You took the house, but that's not the place. The place is my purpose. I'm anchored in my purpose. I'm appreciative because at some point in time, God saw something in me so great that he gave me my own gift, gave me a unique and specific purpose. There are people that do what I do, but they don't do it like I do. And that makes me unique in this world. And then I think about it even in a more depth. And for those of you who study or practice or know the Bible, take this. For those who don't, take the principle out of this, because the principle applies whether you understand it or know it or not. But there's a point at the beginning of Jeremiah's ministry where Jeremiah is given his assignment by God, and Jeremiah's response to God is, "I'm only a youth. This is way too much for me." And God's response to Jeremiah is, "Don't say that you're a youth, because before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I ordained you for this very purpose." Now, check out this. You got to stop and think. And this is what one of the gifts that God has given me. I've always been highly analytical. I never take things on the surface and I just look. It sounds good on the surface. Oh man, God knew me. This is just no. But let's really look at this and really see what it means. And understanding that this is in the ancient Hebrew. So the word "knew" is more than just "I know of you." It's "I knew you intimately. I know the inner and outer workings of you." And here's what he said. So when he says "I knew you," you don't know someone because you met them. You know of them, you've met them, you're acquainted with them. To know someone, you've spent time with them. Now check this out. What does that tell me? He's telling Jeremiah, before you were conceived, you existed. I knew you. Before you were formed biologically, you existed, and I knew you. And I knew that you would be ideal for this moment. So you came at this very time in this life because you were built for this moment. Now, you tell me that's not something to be appreciative about.
Could you say that again?
Technology. Wow. Wasn't talking to you. Shut up. But that is the thing that I'm trying to get you to understand is that we get so caught up in the minor that the major things are missed. Dr. Claude Anderson calls it majoring in the minor. I'm so focused on the small things that the small things have crippled me. And I can't even pay attention or gain access or operate in or take hold of the things that are major with the power. Now they're accessible, but I've shut the door to them because I'm focused on what I can't have. Did you ever think that maybe you can't have that thing that you want so badly because it was meant for you to create something different? Have you ever thought that maybe it's not working out for you where you're at because that's not where you're supposed to be? You are going to have to find a way. And this doesn't mean, when I say be appreciative, this doesn't mean sit up and take mistreatment and find a way to make it okay. That's not what I'm talking about. Because there's something about living in this appreciation that I'm talking about that sets such a standard that you will literally repel the people who will mistreat you. Remember, energy attracts like energy. Energy is resonant. So when I'm really truly living in the true nature of who I am and I'm appreciative, most of the people who would just naturally want to cause me harm can't get to me. Now, granted, because all of us are human, even the people who mean me the most, mean me the best, have the capacity at any given time to do something that could hurt me. But it's going to be rare, and it's going to be something that we can look at and we can address, and then we can get it squared away. So all I'm trying to get you to understand in all of this is that you got two basic ways of viewing life, and they're going to determine how much you get out of life in enjoyment, in fulfillment, in success. And that is, I'm either looking through the lens of appreciation, I'm looking through the lens of expectation. Expectation will always set you up for disappointment because it's simply not going to happen like you want it to happen, when you want it to happen, how you want it to happen, at the time you want it to happen, all the time. And if that's what you're hanging your hat on, you're going to be upset, frustrated, disappointed, angry, and a bunch of other things a lot. Now you're miserable and you're making everybody else miserable. When you learn how to appreciate life, you see what needs to be done and it's not happening, but you're appreciating the fact that you're here with an opportunity to do it. Every day I wake up with an opportunity to touch someone's life. That's something to be grateful for, because before I was ever formed in my womb, my mother's womb, God knew me and thought enough of me to give me a gift that allows me to speak into people's lives in ways that shifts their entire paradigm and allows them to step out of the old and take hold of the new. That's my challenge to everyone. Embrace your gift, appreciate your gift, because when you appreciate it, you value it. When you value it, you don't mishandle it. On that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out here. As I said at the beginning of this, I'm excited about this opportunity. We're doing 6-month personal growth plans through our Ascension arm of the Visionetics Institute. This 6-month growth plan is a personalized growth plan, meaning that we're going to do a personality assessment, a DISC assessment, goal assessment. We're going to set you up with a plan based on that, a 6-month action plan where you literally follow these steps. And I guarantee you, when you get to the 6-month mark, you will not be the same person. You will have experienced intentional growth that pushes you towards the thing you say you desire. There's no more excuses of saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. All that stuff is going to be handled, and we're going to do it. Now, the only catch in this is, and it's $97. The bonuses, when you look in this description box and post box, and you look at the bonuses alone, they are over $1,000 worth of bonuses. You get all that with this, and you get it for $97. The only catch is that we can only take 100 people until we fulfill. And once we get to 100 people, we're going to suspend the promotion, and we are going to start working on fulfillment. Well, we're going to start working on fulfillment the moment that you sign up, but we want people to take advantage of this. This is for the people who are saying, I can't afford to work with Doc. And I get that all the time. I get emails, I can't afford to work with you. But when I am able to work with you, this isn't the same as working with me, but this is the same system I use to help my clients in my 6-month one-on-one program. It's a simple look. This is where you're trying to get. This is how you get there. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. We're helping you. So on that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. For all the people who stopped in and showed love, thank you. Here's this. I always say this, and I say it, and I know when you hear somebody say something constantly, it just starts to become cliche-ish, but there's some power in this. I always say that I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. What am I saying? I'm saying that there's this gift, and this gift is the representation of potential. And in the representation of that potential is what I'm capable of producing over the course of my lifetime. And as my mentor once said, Dr. Miles Monroe said that the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. And what is he saying? He said, you're going to find books on not written, businesses not start, relationships not created, inventions not done, all of this stuff that people were given. They didn't fulfill it, and they took it to the grave. They took the value of their gift, unfulfilled, the value of their potential, unfulfilled, to the grave. So when I say I live my life on full so that I die on it, it means when I leave this place, I will have given this life everything that I have. That's why I wake up every day and I give that day all that that day deserves. Why? Because that 86,400 seconds will never be there again. It's gone. What you do with that 86,400 every day is going to determine the outcome of your life, and it's going to write your legacy. Why is your legacy important? That's the thing that will speak for you and of you after you're gone. That should be your greatest focus. On that note, look, I'm out here. I really hope to see some of you guys sign up, and so that we can get you set up on this growth plan. But whatever you do, you got to start viewing things through the lens of appreciation if you really, truly want to experience life at its height. On that note, I'm out here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.